Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me for another episode of your FIshcast Live. We have a good episode in store for you today. We want to make sure that you sit back and relax. We hope you pre-gamed, because if you're trying to start now, you're too late. I'm, of course, your host, Dave, and this is FIshcast Live. And thanks for watching. We're going to be assigning some points to some fish. And if you want to be a part of it, call us now. Our operator, also known as me, is standing by. And you just call 469-573-4388. That's 469-573-4388. You'll be on the show. Let's hit a score recap, shall we? These are our contestants. Typically, at the end of the season, the plan is to crown a king or queen of the tank. So, starting from the top in no particular order, we have Blooper, Nooper, Pooper, Spike and his brother Mike. They are twins, but not exactly the same fish. You can tell because of the coloring. The elusive Mango, who I don't have a great picture of, and the energetic Gordo. That's going to be our cast for the season. Thank you for joining us for Season 2. Off the top, we'd like to get started with some good news. Brought to you by the Good News Network. Thank you to the good folks over at the Good News Network. What we have here is the story of a cute little mouse friend who was lost. Cotton Ball is a mouse and was lost at a Renaissance fair, but showed up at the after party, and apparently, reportedly, the staff of the Renaissance fair had a little love affair going with Cotton Ball. And we love you, Cotton Ball, and we're glad you're okay. Thanks to our good friends at the Good News Network for that uplifting story. (469-573-4388). Give us a call. I'm standing by. Let's play a little FIshcast Live, shall we? It's a little early in the season to get out the -1 coin, so let's stick with just a +1. Put one here. Put one here. And you guys out there, keep me honest, because I'm not always watching. We had a little bit of a dispute last season over some scoring. Now that looks like Blooper didn't quite get there. But apparently there was some controversy over the fact that it appeared Mango. Oh, and we have, I believe that's Nooper. There was some controversy over the fact that perhaps Gordo scored some points that your host Dave missed. We'd like to let you know we're very sorry about that controversy. We strive for a very uncontroversial show here at FIshcast Live. fish do their thing. We're just hanging out, enjoying ourselves. Now, is that on the left there? Is that Spike or is that Mike? We don't know. Let's get up the scoreboard and check. I think that's Spike, based on the stars. But let us know your opinion. Call 469-573-4388. See what our friends at the Good News Network have for us. Well, now isn't that interesting? Dog trained to sniff out post-traumatic stress by smelling patient's breath with 90% accuracy. Isn't that interesting? How can they do it? Dogs are such amazing animals. According to the Good News Network, dogs' sensitive noses can detect the early warning signs of medical situations, such as an impending seizure. Can you imagine? In the pilot study, the team taught 2 dogs to decipher the breath of people who have been reminded of traumas by recognizing the scent of human trauma reactions on human breath. And how did they do such a thing? That's very impressive. Well, folks, we're just hanging out, waiting for some fish to score some points. Nooper's in the lead right now. Maybe let's put it in a more central location. See what that does for us. And which one is that? I think that's Pooper. That's one for Pooper. He's tied his brother. Oh, and another. Did he touch it? Did he touch it? Do fins count? Call us and let us know. Do fins count? Should fins count for points? 469-573-4388. Oh, Mango sighting. Oh, and Mango scores. Mango's on the scoreboard, ladies and gentlemen. An auspicious day. Oh, and we got one for Blooper. That's Blooper, I believe. We'd like to thank friend of the show, Andy Quobley, for this story. Andy writes, paleontologists recently identified a dinosaur that is believed to have lived at least partially underground. demonstrating that dinosaurs successfully exploited every kind of habitat available to them. Fauna herzoge lived 99 million years ago and possesses a skeleton that bears many of the hallmarks of animals that burrow. And I think that was blooper again. Did I miss any points? Make sure to call and let me know. We got a mango sighting. Discovered in Utah by paleontologists from North Carolina State University and the North Carolina Museum of Natural Sciences. It was rather a simple, unornamented dinosaur, about as big as an average-sized dog. Examinations of several close to complete skeletons show that F. herzoge possessed a large bicep muscles, fused bones along the pelvis, and strong muscle attachment points on the hips and legs. These are all signs of a burrowing lifestyle. Well, now, isn't that interesting? Where it was discovered in Utah, at the time of the animal's life, a floodplain called the Musintichit that formed along the edges of a massive inland sea to the east, and peaks and volcanoes to the west. It was warm, it was humid, and it was riverine. The bias in the fossil record, this is a quote, the bias in the fossil record is toward bigger animals, primarily because in floodplain environments like Musintichit, small bones on the surface will often scatter and rot away or become scavenged before burial and fossilization. According to Haviv Avrahami, a PhD student at North Carolina State, and the first author on the paper describing the dino. But fauna is often found complete, with many of its bones preserved in original death pose, chest down with splayed forelimbs, and in exceptionally good condition, Abrahami says. If it had already been underground in a burrow before its death, it would have made this type of preservation more likely. Now, isn't that interesting? I think it's time. We got a -1, 4, and a +1, which cancels out. Okay. Making my job easy today, aren't you? Blooper. -1, +1. Well, -1 again. The triplets seem to be the most active this evening. with, I believe, blooper. +1, -1. There we go again. Oh. Okay, I can't score that. Okay, Gordo just scored 2. I think that's Blooper just scored 2. So that's 3 for Blooper. And 2 for Gordo. Check the scoreboard, check the leaderboard. This is Spike and this is Mike. I think this is Spike and this is Mike down here. That's what I think. Look at Mango down here just cruising. He's going in and out of his coral rocks. Isn't that nice? Folks, just a reminder, you're watching FIshcast Live, and if you want to join the live fish tank action, you can call 469-573-4388. Give us a call. I'm standing by. And as always, I'm your host, Dave. And here we have 4 frugal methods to cool down without AC this summer by Andy Corbley. Where are the sun rays falling during the hottest hours of the day? As the USA lies in the northern hemisphere, the sun travels across the southern sky. And so, for most homeowners or tenants, its rays will beat down on the southeastern, southern, and southwestern flanks of your house. As it arrives at a window, close the shutters, or buy a set of blackout curtains to repel the heat. If one is really desperate, curtains, or even a blanket or rug, will work better, hung outside the window on the exterior of the house. If you have an HOA, FIshcast Live does not recommend doing that. After the sun's rays have completely left the window, that's the moment to open it. Master the art of airflow. Keep a flag outside your house and observe the direction of the wind when it blows. Opening windows on opposite ends of the house will create an airflow that, when moving through the narrow confines of the window openings, causes the flow to accelerate and cool down. That's the way rivers speed up when channeled into a more narrow section. Most people know that hot air rises, but it doesn't always follow for them to deduce that this means that cold air sinks. As such, positioning yourself at lower levels, both micro and macro, can help. Consider moving your bed to the basement. This is what desert dwellers have done for millennia, sleeping below the level of the earth to stay cool. One can also consider removing the box spring and frame and placing their mattress directly on the floor. Well, Andy, I'll admit to you that I have done that very thing while in college and after college, and when I was just being a shitbag. The closer one's body is to the bottom of whatever, whether that's a house or a room, the cooler it will be. Investing in a reversible fan is a good idea for mastering airflow. If there's a source of hot air in the room, a fan can blow it out of a window or up a flight of stairs, inviting cooler air to fill the room. Likewise, if there's a source of cooler air, a fan can pull it up from a basement or in from the outside after dark. Using water can be an effective way to cool oneself and the room in various ways. Bowls of ice, when placed on a stool in front of a fan, cools the blown air out into the room. Likewise, if there is a breeze or air coming in through a window, a wet towel suspended across it will cool the air further as it enters. If one can't handle a cold shower, one can easily apply wet towels to any part of the body that is significantly hot. About the neck or between the thighs are good places for cold towels, because blood flow passes through major arteries. Ice packs would work just as well. Combining these methods with a fan is a surefire way to cool you down while trying to sleep. Also, it's obviously important to stay hydrated, as a lack of available water in the body will impede one's natural cooling systems. Understanding heat. Heat is generated in many ways throughout the day and throughout the house. For starters, our bodies generate heat through excessive movement, digestion, and other activities. That's called basal metabolism. No one is recommending you do a water fast, though that would keep you generally cooler probably. But eating a lighter dinner, or perhaps even splitting dinner into 2 separate meals, will avoid too much metabolic heat being generated through digestion. On the subject of food, think salads and sandwiches, since stoves and ovens saturate the air with heat. A more clever alternative is to cook with crock pots or slow cookers, or even running an appliance like a rice steamer or air fryer with a vent outside. When running at full capacity, computers generate a serious amount of heat, so keep the PC or laptop running at less than half memory speed. You can accomplish this by closing programs you're not using and keeping the number of tabs and browser windows to a minimum. Well, Andy, I'm sorry to say that I have quite a few browser windows open and quite a few tabs, so you'll have to forgive me on that one. I have one additional piece of information that may help you for those of us who are in very high heat zones. One thing that will seriously assist your AC for a short time is to wet the outside of the coils. The heat exchanger fins around the outside of your outdoor heat exchanger, when wet, will absorb and radiate heat very effectively. This is one way to get a boost of efficiency and effectiveness and performance for a short time out of your air conditioning unit. Folks, thank you so much for tuning in. This is FIshcast Live. Do you want to call into the show and answer a trivia question? You can call us at the number on your screen. That's 469-573-4388. We do appreciate you tuning in this evening. Let's get back to our game, shall we? We got some fish swimming around. Let's get some points. Let's assign some points to some fish, shall we? And which one is that? That is Pooper, and he just scored a point. And that's 2 for Pooper. He's tied for second. Just to let you know, this is Season 1, folks. We keep the tallies all season long. And we will be crowning a king or queen of the tank. Blooper really likes chasing Nooper into that hole, for whatever reason. Oh, Gordo's fin touched it. Gordo's fin touched a point. We're going to give it to him. And just like that, Gordo is tied for first with Blooper. And here we have the scoreboard. The rankings, the standings. And folks, we will keep up with these all season long. Don't you worry. We'd like to extend a special thank you to Aura Video Art for lending us the stream of their aquarium tank. Thank you, Aura. Unfortunately, I do not personally own a reef aquarium tank. Definitely not one this beautiful and well maintained. So thank you, Aura. Friend of the show. Folks, you can give us a call anytime. Our operator is standing by, ready to receive it. Let's see what our friends at the Good News Network have for us. Let's see if I can get this up. This is really lovely. Eagle parents spend year nursing their chick who fell out of a tree, forsaking the new nesting season. By Andy Corkley. In what seems to be a never-before-seen phenomenon among the species, a white-tailed eagle couple has skipped this year's breeding season in order to care for a juvenile who broke a wing. Hatching in April, unseasonably wild weather blew an eaglet from its nest on the Isle of Mull during the July fledgling season. Its mom and dad have spent 12 months nursing it back to health, even going as far as to skip the mating season. Typically, juveniles will leave the nests in October, but this bird is still with its parents, and no new eggs or chicks have been observed in the family. Members of the Royal Society for the Protection of Birds in the UK recently recorded a video of the miracle chick in flight, soaring up on thermal updrafts without issue, even though its left wing was disfigured from the fall. We normally think of eagles as hardwired and unemotional, but clearly there might be another side to their nature, said RSPB officer Dave Sexton to the BBC. I loved white-tailed eagles before. Now I think I love them just a little bit more, said Dave. Sexton spotted this juvenile in springtime. Its mother and father were still bringing it fish, even though it was already almost fully grown. He said he has never seen or heard of anything like it before in the eagle world. I've also consulted with other eagle experts at home and abroad, and so far, no one else has reported this kind of extended parenting behavior for an injured chick. That's really lovely. Thank you, Andy, for sharing that with us. Well, folks, we're about ready to wrap it up here. Thank you for tuning in to FIshcast Live. This is the first episode of Season 2. Oh, we gotta give that point to him. Gotta give that point to him. I think that was blooper. And here's a scoreboard recap for today. Blooper is in the lead with 4 points. His brothers Nooper and Pooper are behind him with 1 and 2 respectively. Spike and Mike have yet to land on the scoreboard. Mango, though elusive, has managed to score a point today. And Gordo is in second with 3. Folks, we thank you for joining us on this episode of FIshcast Live, and we hope that wherever you are, you have a really pleasant evening. Thank you for tuning in. For FIshcast Live, I'm your host, Dave. We'll be back here some weeknights when we feel like it at 8 p.m. Central. And you can always call in and talk to your fish. They can't hear you,